This is episode 3 of my epic Christian love story that almost didn't happen. And to recap, I met the man who would become my future husband on the first day of my second year of college. And when I met him, I was really attracted to him. I asked God, should I go for him? And I hear God answer me, you got to get over the other one first. So I want to tell you that story because honestly, there's so many life lessons in it. And sometimes, as sad as it is, your heart needs to break to grow in the right way, and unfortunately, this was very true for me. The year before I met Tariq, I met someone else. I was only 18 years old. It was my first year of college, and I had not dated all throughout high school. And the reason that I didn't date was because I didn't believe any relationship founded in high school would ever prosper. So I didn't even try. I was like, what's the point? I want to get married one day. But I get to college, and I'm like, I could meet somebody. I'm 18, but I could meet somebody. So I tell God, I'm ready to have a boyfriend. And, God heard me, but it didn't go down the way I thought it was. First day of class on my first year of college, I meet this absolutely gorgeous guy. He was tall, he was dark, he was handsome, he was an athlete, and he had an English accent. And I absolutely have a type. Oh my goodness, I have such a type. Anyways, I meet him, and the first week of school, he walks up to me and he gets my number, or he asks for my number. And I'm thinking, hello, confidence. Okay, I like that. I really want somebody who's confident. So we hang out a few times in studying, often in groups with others. And then he asks me out what I thought was for real. And he just asked me, we were broke, so he didn't ask me to go to a restaurant, but he asked me, let's go on a walk after the open mic night, part of Poetry Club. And that was something that we were both part of. So anyway, we go on that walk. We meet after the open mic night. We go on that walk, and he starts asking me. I'm so it's so romantic to me. He starts asking me these questions, and honestly, I still think it's kind of cute because it was very clear that he had looked up first date questions. Okay, so it was like, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? What's something that annoys you? Stuff like that. And I was like, he has this list in his head, I swear. But I didn't think it was cheesy. I thought maybe he's just as nervous as me, which I think is a good sign, right? So he gets to this question, and we're only 20 minutes into this walk, but he asks me, what's something really important that you think I should know about you? Or something like that. And I paused because I had an answer ready to go, but I was worried that it was if he didn't respond the right way, then it would be over before it really began. But yet I didn't want to move forward with somebody who wasn't going to accept this part of me. So I paused for way too long. And then I finally said, something really important about me is my faith is everything to me. And I held my breath. Was it over? Is this little romance over? And he said, oh, wow, that's really cool. And he goes, I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian too. And that was amazing to hear. My heart kind of releases. And then he tells me about a worship service that he had been a part of where the people were just all together praising God. And he said that was so beautiful to him, one of the most beautiful moments in his life. I don't know how it is for other people, but I fell in love right then. The moment he said that, I fell in love. I could feel it happening in my heart. I could feel it felt like my heart went from here to here. And that was it for me. I fell in love so fast. So after that date, we keep hanging out, growing. Honestly, I thought a lot, but we were growing in faith together. He's asking me questions. What do you think about this Bible verse? And we're hanging out. We're getting closer. It's not official, but then again, the whole basketball team knew, and my close friends knew that we really, really liked each other. Interestingly enough, I never kissed him. And so I think it's going great until one day. I walk into the gym at night. It's 7 p.m. And I see him there, which is not that weird because he's an athlete. But what is weird is that he was hanging out with another girl. She was actually sort of my friend, now that I think about it. He was hanging out with another girl. They were in a very, clothes all on, but they were in a very sexual position. He was helping her stretch or something. And it was I was whoa. So I see that and I kind of fume for a second, but about an hour later, I finish working out, and an hour later I text him, I got to meet him. And he meets me at the, ironically, at the chapel, at the chapel. And it was kind of like an unused in our tiny college. But I go into this room where it's just him and I and God, apparently. And I say, what's going on? And what's going on with this girl? And he has the audacity to look at me and say, nothing's going on with her. She's a friend. I was just helping her stretch. So then I go ahead. I wasn't sure I believed that. Honestly, now I know I don't believe that, but I wasn't sure I believed that at the time, just being 18. And so then I asked him, well, okay, so it's not serious with her. What about us? And he gives me the same darn answer. He says, well, I just kind of think I want to be friends with you because, I'm still so mad about it, because, I'm thinking about transferring schools next year, and it wouldn't make sense for me to start a relationship. Meanwhile, I'd been pretty convinced we were already in a relationship. So I was like shocked, and I really wish I had just been pissed off at him, and just told him off and told him what a piece of crap move that was. But I didn't, because I was a lot more of a people pleaser. I think I've broken that off now. But I also was still in love with him, and I just didn't know what to make of it, but I was still nice. So I said, yeah, okay, fine. We can be friends. And with that, I said, yeah, we can still hang out sometimes. Now that I'm older and I've gotten from a lot of perspective, I know what really happened. I wasn't having sex before marriage. That explains it. And as he had gotten to know me, I don't remember the time we specifically talked about it, but we must have, because after a few weeks, I think he realized I was serious, and he was like, I'll go for someone easier. So just because that was my rude awakening, that just because someone says they are a Christian does not mean that they are down to wait until marriage. And that was like actually a shocker for me at that age. And even though that was really sad for me, I am so glad that I personally waited until marriage, because it is the best filter for guys who are actually serious. And even though I was in love with that one, he wasn't in love back with me, or at least, no, he wasn't. And he wasn't serious about me. And that, after just a month of like dating or like hanging out, I guess that got revealed. So I'm now really grateful for that. But the problem is, I was still in love with him. He would like talk to me and flirt with me a little sometimes, which now is cruel that I look back, but I was in love with him, and I stayed in love with him for 8 more months. And there was a lot to that part of the story of growing up in the pain and being so pissed at God. I didn't talk to God for a while, which is a big deal for me. When I finally like let him go and started talking with God again and working on myself, that is when I met Tariq. And so yes, I was out of love with that first guy for my first year of college, but I was still getting over the pain that he had caused my heart and growing up in a big way. And so when I had met Tariq and asked God, should I go for him? And God says, you need to get over the other one first. I needed to heal from that pain in my heart. And that was honestly an excellent move. And the crazy thing is, I didn't talk to Tariq again for like another 6 months. And yet when we did have a meaningful conversation after first meeting, that's when the roller coaster really began. And I'm telling you, this is truly the love story that almost didn't happen. So if you want more, I've got the next part on the way. Hopefully you find this entertaining.